How's it going, guys? It's your boy Boyce, and I'm joined here with Hazy, and we're going to have a quick interview with comic book writer extraordinaire, Greg Pak. Greg, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I like your adjectives.
Oh, thank you. Again, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. I know, you know.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dark Horse, in advance for agreeing to took up this interview for us so we can chat with Greg here.
So, yeah, we wanted to know, I guess, started off, what kind of inspired you to get into comics in the first place?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was, sorry, I'm losing my voice after 4 days at the con.
It's been a long one.
Yeah.
A long con, man.
I grew up drawing. I was one of those kids who drew, and I also just love storytelling. So I've known I wanted to be a writer since I was about 9 years old. I was writing short stories and stuff when I was a little kid, and I was just always obsessed with telling stories. I never thought about doing comics professionally, though, which is a little weird. Ray Bradbury was my big hero as a kid, so I thought of myself as like a prose writer.
Yeah.
And then later on, as I got older, I was obsessed with movies, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I went to NYU for film school. And I ended up making a bunch of short films, and I made a movie called Robot Stories, which was a scrappy little independent sci-fi movie. But I ended up getting a meeting with Marvel, and ended up sort of stepping sideways into comics. And I've been writing comics for 12 years since then.
You said you got a meeting with Marvel. Now, did they just kind of come out of nowhere and find you, or are you?
Did they send Nick Fury? Did they send Nick Fury after you? How did it work?
Exactly. In the middle of the night, red lights started flashing. My skin started tingling, and I was teleported to another dimension. No, I was. Everybody gets into comics in a different way, and it was just kind of one of those random, lucky things. But my agent found out that Marvel, at that particular time, was looking for writers outside of comics to kind of see if there was somebody in independent film, maybe, who might be an interesting match. And it just happened to be at the time that my movie Robot Stories was getting out there and winning some awards. And it also happened to be a movie that was an anthology picture, so it was 4 different stories. So the screenplay had, each story was like 20 minutes or so, which is sort of similar to the length of a comic book. It's a terrible writing sample if you want to get more film work, because nobody makes anthology pictures. But it turned out to be an amazing writing sample for doing comics, because it showed that I could do a concise story which had a beginning, middle, and end, and that used crazy genre stuff, but also had an emotional story to tell, and that's what Marvel is. That's how Marvel became Marvel, for doing that kind of story, So there's some serendipity involved there. But it was, and the funny thing is, like I said, I'd never thought about making comics professionally, but at the same time, throughout all those years, I've been reading comics, buying comics. I'd been drawing, not that I draw professionally, but I'd been doing cartoons and stuff, and so it made sense to me. And to them, I guess, it worked, I was able to kind of, it felt right, sometimes that opportunity will come, but it won't make sense, you know what I mean? But here it happened to make sense just because of all the different, for a million different little reasons. But it was great. I'm really grateful to all those folks who.
So cool. So when Marvel called you up, right? How did you get assigned to your first comic book? What was it, and how did you get started? How long did the process take to get it out there, and you can walk into a comic book shop and be like, oh, that's me, I wrote that. Yeah.
It took a long time. Yeah, for about a year actually. I was kind of developing different things with Marvel.
Wow.
So I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, okay, this is great, and I started working with editors, and we started working on different ideas and stuff, and I actually wrote, I think, 3 full comic book scripts.
Wow.
For different projects that didn't go for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And each time they told me, we love it. It's just that because of X, Y, and Z, we can't do this project right now. Mm-hmm. And I kind of shrugged, and I'd be like, okay. And they'd say, but here's another thing we'd love to talk to you about. And eventually one of them hit. I did and the first story was first book I worked on was Warlock. Mm-hmm. So I did a 4-issue Warlock series with Charlie Adlard. Back when Charlie Adlard was it was in the very early days of Walking Dead, when he was working on Walking Dead.
Wow.
And so he was drawing Walking Dead and my little Warlock book at the same time. And I'm kind of glad that my Warlock book got canceled after 4 issues for his sake, because he certainly, got onto a good train there.
I mean, there's good karma going on.
Yeah. So that Warlock, and it was, again, I'm really grateful to all those editors who worked with me throughout all that time, because I got to learn a lot during that year, even though I didn't really know if it was going to go anywhere, but I was going to keep working because they definitely wanted to keep working with me, and eventually it happened. And once that Warlock book came out, folks at Marvel really liked it. It didn't do great sales-wise, but in the company, people were like, "Oh, hey, this is pretty good."
Yeah.
And then I got the Phoenix Endsong book, which I was like literally jumping up and down in my apartment when they told me I got it, because it was an X-Men book. It was riffing on the biggest X-Men storyline of my youth.
Absolutely,
it was tremendous.
Absolutely.
And then that book became a top 10 book, and it was like, oh, maybe I actually have a career here, and so that's how it came together.
How long have you been with Marvel?
Well, I was an exclusive with Marvel for a bunch of years.
Right.
I'm non-exclusive right now. I'm a freelancer. I can work
DC
everywhere.
as well, too, right?
Yeah. Well, although I've wrapped up the DC books I was working on, but yes, I've worked for DC. I'm working for Boom. I've got a book here with Dark Horse, so I've worked all over the place.
Kingsway, correct?
Kingsway West. Yeah. For 12 years I've been in comics, and I think for all those years I've always had something going on with Marvel. But all these, it's been great. All these companies have been great.
I guess we want to know, one of your more memorable characters is Amadeus Cho, Totally Awesome Hulk. I guess we were kind of curious as to how that came about. Was that an idea of yours? Did you kind of meet Marvel halfway?
Yeah.
What's the process of actually creating a character with Marvel? That's huge.
Yeah. Bruce Banner's been Hulk for how long?
Years. Well,
decades.
Amadeus becoming the Hulk was not my idea. I got a call, and my editor, Mark Paniccia, said, "Hey, we're thinking about making Amadeus the new Hulk. Would you be interested in writing it?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." But yeah, it was great. I co-created Amadeus Cho with Takeshi Miyazawa, the artist Takeshi Miyazawa, something like 11 years ago. And readers reacted really strongly to him, and we were able to do a whole ton of stuff with him. He became a big part of World War Hulk, and we paired him up with Hercules in a buddy book for 4.5 years. So I was thrilled with everything we've been able to do with that character, but yeah, I never dreamed that I'd get a call like that. You know what I mean? So it's been amazing. The character had been around, and a lot of other people had played with the character over the years, and I think he also just made sense, because they were thinking about a new Hulk or somebody else to kind of take on being the Hulk. And if you look at all the characters who have been in Banner's life over the years, in recent years in particular, Amadeus makes a lot of sense, because he's a genius like Banner.
Yeah.
He's been Banner's biggest fan since he first debuted. In his origin story, he has a close encounter with the Hulk, and throughout his career, he's been like, he thinks the Hulk is awesome. He and the Hulk have he and Banner have a similar problem with impulse control.
Yeah.
But then the great thing is that Amadeus gives us a different kind of Hulk story, because he's a cocky kid. He thinks he's going to be the best Hulk ever.
Right.
Very different from Banner.
He's going to be totally awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally awesome.
So it's a different dynamic. It's been fun.
In that respect, how does Amadeus' Hulk differ from Bruce Banner's Hulk? Bruce Banner, we know he's been harboring this anger over all these years, and Amadeus, similarly deals with issues like that, but his affect is more cheery and happy to be Hulk. Yeah. So how do the two Hulks differ?
Well, Amadeus is going to learn that being the Hulk may be a little more difficult than he originally thought. He's got a lot of stuff to learn, and
T'Challa's kind of teaching him.
Yeah, right. And so right now,
how difficult it is.
Well, So, spoiler alert: Banner has been killed. Clinton Barton killed Banner for various reasons.
I didn't want to blow that for people listening.
Yeah. So Amadeus, Banner is his best friend. So he's furious. He's going after Clint. And T'Challa, the Black Panther, doesn't think that's such a good idea. So T'Challa is trying to stop Amadeus. So Amadeus is learning a lot about himself right now, and about what it means to be the Hulk when you have this kind of anger in your heart, And T'Challa is an older, wiser character who's we'll see what happens as the two of them tangle.
Okay. That being said, man, what does the future hold for Amadeus, his sister, and the Totally Awesome Hulk line? He's pretty angry that Bruce Banner's dead. and he's been messing with Captain Marvel a little bit. I'm pretty sure he doesn't like that. So what does the future hold for him?
You have to keep reading the book.
Teasing us.
I think we're at time, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Plug Kingsway West.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Kingsway West. So this is a Dark Horse book I'm doing. It's about a Chinese gunslinger searching for his wife in an Old West overrun with magic.
Okay.
First issue came out in August.
24th, I believe, right?
Yes, exactly. And so ask your comic shop to get it for you. It's drawn by Mirko Kolak. He's amazing. And this is a book I've been dreaming about for a couple of decades. So it's if you like Lord of the Rings and if you like Westerns, this is a book for you.
I just got a quick question for you. Just 2 rapid fire questions, maybe 3. Are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
I'm usually Team Cap.
Okay. Who wins in a fight, Hulk or Superman?
It depends on which company I'm writing for.
You have been writing action comics for DC. How often does Superman dry clean his suit?
Superman probably does not need to dry clean that suit because it's fantastical Kryptonian technology. I imagine it's self-cleaning. And if not, he could just laser it with his eyes.
All right, one last one. Batman and Superman are going on a double date. Where are they taking their dates?
They are going bowling.
Okay.
I have no idea why, but that's what they're doing.
All right,
thanks,
Greg Pak, thanks for the time. Really appreciate
You guys are
it.
awesome.
Kingsway West, check it out, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dark Horse, for the hookup. Appreciate this. Thank you.
I'll take care.
Take it easy.
I'll take care.
Take it easy.